What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ham House Sports. It's Big Matt and Little Matt, and today we're going to talk about some of our adventures in the hobby.
So today's gonna be a little bit different. Like most of the time we do a video, it's either at a show or we're just showing you some of the latest stuff we picked up. But I personally just like being real with people. And I will say that the last month of the sports card hobby for us has been like way more than I ever expected. Like I'm so blown away and excited, but it's also really, really hard. Like it's been
I feel like the more we get into, the harder it gets because we're doing consignment, we're doing whatnot, we're doing our own high-end singles, we're doing our own low-end singles, we're doing Instagram, we're doing Facebook. It's just everything is constant, and there's never a day where you have a break. It's like everything can be done.
Yeah, so we're having to learn on the fly, like the difference between a hobby and a business. And as a dad, it's really hard to teach this to the kids because we live in a world right now where there's so much stimulation, and you've got a lot of content creators online, and these guys are at shows and they've got really awesome cards, really high-end cards. And so I'm navigating the space as like on one side trying to be a business guy and trying to, help our clients out and continue to do business, but on the other side trying to be a dad and a hobby with his kids.
Yep.
And so it's a little bit of both, and it's a little bit overwhelming. And so I would say the last month has been really hard. I feel like in the last month we probably argued more about cards than we have in the last 6 months.
And I think it's just because, we've been buying a lot since we have the cash. We've been buying a lot more, and I think that's where we get
it's interesting too when you buy cards for yourself. Like you just buy the things you like, but when you've got other people involved, and we've got 3 boys and me, everybody has an opinion about what they like. And the twins are a little bit less opinionated than Matthew per se. Matthew has good tastes; he knows good cards. But good cards and really high-end cards, they're not cheap. And so there's a lot of work that goes into it. And so like right now, we have, just to give you guys a shot here, like this is one part of a consignment lot of cards that we have. This is probably a couple thousand cards. Now, in order to sell these cards, you've got to put them into team bags, organize them by team. They have to be sleeved and they have to be top loaded. Look, there's a Juan Soto.
Refractor.
And so that's a lot of work, but you got to put in that work, and then you got to do the show to sell them, and you got to ship them. And so we're trying to do all of that plus our own personal stuff. Yes. And so it's been a little bit overwhelming. So we're kind of in a mode of trying to figure out, whoa, okay, this kind of turned into a business, where to from here. So for Matthew, for you, what would you say is the funnest part of the hobby for you, period?
Shows, without question.
Shows?
Card shows, without question.
Okay, but what's the hardest part of the hobby for you? Basically everything else?
No. The hardest part of the hobby for me, I like whatnot shows when you don't sell anything, or the worst.
I think we've sold
we've sold some, but the ones one night when we go on and do football with Roadshow versus one time we go on at 1:00 in the afternoon. Those shows are always hard because you don't have as much people on. It's still good, but it's not great, and you kind of want to hit that standard.
So you like hype, high energy, boom,
yes,
boom, 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 boom,
everything
boom deals.
Yes.
When it's slow, you struggle.
Yes.
Okay.
Because me, I love to buy, and when we're not selling stuff, we can't buy. So that's
So the other thing, I think I'm having a hard time with is organization, because it's we have so much different stuff, and you just have to keep a lot of records or whatever. And so Matthew's like, Dad, we haven't done a video in a week because
this been a while.
But you're we haven't done a video, and I'm like, but I've got so much to do. It's I'm just so busy. We got to do all this other stuff. And so we're struggling to figure that out, but we're moving forward and we're trying to do it. But then also too, there's things like differences in opinions.
Yes.
And so I'm going to show you this card. This is a first year flawless Peyton Manning game used autograph numbered to 15, and really neat card. We traded into this card. So we combined a bunch of Ernie Banks vintage cards and a Steph Curry rookie and traded that into a Mickey Mantle. The Mickey Mantle was a little bit off-centered, and we traded the Mickey Mantle into this. But then we have a conversation about that. Matthew likes the deal. I initially kind of like the deal, but then I maybe don't like the deal as much. And so that's just one example of
can I explain like the reason why I liked it?
Yeah, I know why you
yeah.
like it, but that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the reason I liked it, I'm just telling them. The reason I liked it because I mean this card, I mean it's Peyton Manning. I know it's not Mickey Mantle, but that Mickey Mantle was off centered, and I could tell a lot of people weren't interested in the Mickey Mantle because it was off centered, and I think it'd be easier to move this. I think Mickey Mantle sells really easy, but especially centered Mickey Mantle. We had offers, but I feel like they were a little low, and I saw a comp from the same year, but it was sideways, and it was number to 25, like 900, and this is the true vertical game worn number to 15, so I thought that was a pretty good deal. And he loves Mickey Mantle. I love Mickey Mantle as well, but he thought getting out of the GOAT for Peyton Manning was the best idea, and I sort of agree.
We'll figure it out in time, but like this. So this is a Julio Rodriguez rookie autograph 1010. It's in an SGC slab. That's the grading company. It's not PSA, so it does a little bit less. But we bought this card and then put it on eBay and got an offer immediately that was going to be a good deal for us, but the guy didn't pay. And those types of situations just stink. So you get excited, you think you're going to have cards, selling and stuff coming in, and then it doesn't happen, and you've got a lot of inventory. And so when you have a lot of inventory and you're looking to try to move stuff, like it can be a little bit overwhelming. And so I think I'm just sharing all this to like remind ourselves and to remind people, like, have fun. Have fun. But if you're into it, you got to put in the work. That means you got to sort.
You got to put in the work to have the fun with spending.
Exactly. Because, there's this discussion we have often versus I want to PC that card for my personal collection, or I want to get that card, to flip it or to sell it.
Can I explain this example?
Sure.
So this is one of my. It's just such a cool card to me. We got this for a really good price, like a really, really good price. It's an Ernie Banks 1954 rookie in a 4.5. And my dad told me all year, he's like, oh, I got to have this card. It's just such a cool card to me. But just go look on eBay, go look on Facebook, go look if anybody has this card. And we saw this show, really good price. We pulled the trigger. I'm like, Dad, you got your PC card. And he's like, go list it on eBay. I'm like, what? And he's like, that's your PC. Aren't you going to just throw that right here and just let it sit there? And he's like, well, actually, we got to keep everything liquid, keeping everything moving. And that's just like, I'm doing the trade-up challenge. I started with nothing. And I'm trying to get to a bunch of different cards of my favorite players. Mickey Mantle, Steph Curry, Mike Trout, Sherry Town, and just like build my collection. This is Ham House Sports. I want to try to build my collection of just my PC guys. And just put them in my room and look at them. But this... So what was your thing on that? Like
so here's the deal. Like in my mindset, the chase is more fun than the own.
Yes.
I like chasing after a card. And so the chase is the fun part. Now, I'm never opposed to holding on to this card at what we paid for it. But if somebody else would pay me more for it, then I'm going, okay, there's an opportunity there. So I personally look for the chase and opportunity.
My opinion is hold this until you get a 7. Or if it's like me, a Steph Curry rookie card, 5 and 8, hold it until I get a 9 or a 9.5.
So what he's saying is if this is a 4.5, keep it until you find the 6. And then get the 6 and sell this. Yeah. I'm always going, but if I can move this now, the 6 will come along. And so, there little things like that are just differences in opinion that we're having to learn kind of as we go. And it's fun. And also, too, you flow with the seasons, right? In the fall, we were big into the Dolphins.
Football, and I think that was one of the, not the worst things we did, but it was not the smartest thing we did because we got into the hobby right when football was starting. And I play every sport, love every sport. I collect the main 3. He collects mostly baseball. But we bought a lot of football right in the hype of football. And I think that was a mistake. Luckily, we did buy a bunch of baseball in the offseason of baseball. But we got into the Dolphins really big. And I don't think that was one of our best.
Well, I mean, you have to learn. And the bottom line is we're learning. And right now, what we've been doing is sending a lot of cards in to get graded.
And that's been our best thing, especially Bowman.
Yeah. So these 3 cards right here are cards we got into off of breaks. So we bought into people opening boxes. And we got the Green Tucker Toman that got a 10-10. Got the green Ivan Melendez that got a 10-10, and we got the green Sterling Thompson that got
10-10.
a 10-10.
Let me send off a few other Bowman cards, and they all got 10-10.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good there. But these guys are not even in the major leagues right now.
Yep.
And so you got to wait until they do well, unless somebody out there is just going to kind of
want
to keep
people like
them.
This are in the MLB.
So you've got like Shohei Ohtani, that's his Chrome prospect card,
and Mike Trout. Can we talk about this one for a second? Because this is like one of our other disagreements.
Yeah.
Right when we bought this card, I wasn't happy about it. I knew Dad, like, he was really happy. We bought it at a show, and he was like, eh. But I was like, eh. But he was like, yes, let's go. I love this Mike Trout. And I was kind of like, I don't know. But now I like found out, like, I remember Dad always tells me stories like, before I go to bed, Cal Ripken, Duke always tells me stories about Mickey Mantle. Like, I'm going to be telling my kids about Mike Trout one day.
Yeah.
How he would miss half the season and still hit 30 home runs and win MVP. He's just such a talented player, and he earned my respect. Just looking at his watching his highlights again on ESPN when I wake up on a Sunday morning, like, it's just, he earned my true respect. I like him already, but now he is like one of my favorite players in MLB.
So you've got this hard decision to make. Like, do you buy these guys who are already established, like a Mike Trout, right? And their cards are not cheap. Or do you buy into prospects? Maybe could be the next Mike Trout.
The thing, like, these cards, about 1 in every 5 people even make it in MLB, and about 1 in every nobody is the next Mike Trout.
So again, as you guys can see, it's a bit nerve-wracking,
yeah.
And there's a lot of different directions that you can go in. And then you've got stuff like this. Like, this is Jason Dominguez, top prospect for the Yankees, and this is his blue. And then this is a Mickey Mantle 1960. Willie Mays 1960. And so these are our next cards that are going off to get graded. And so what I guess I'm saying in all of this is, like, we started out just a dad and a son trying to have some fun, and really got overwhelmed with the hobby. We love the hobby. We love the people. It's a lot of fun. And we've had more success than we could possibly imagine. But with that success comes a lot of challenge, and we're having to have tough conversations. We're having to make tough decisions. We're having to put in a lot of work. And so in that process, you can lose a little bit of the fun. So we're trying to kind of keep our minds set on having fun and enjoying the hobby, but while also trying to kind of like continue to grow and all of that. And it's a lot.
Yeah. And the thing, like you said, like, I just can't believe how far we've got. Like, I couldn't imagine August, when you can go back and watch my first video, when I was just sitting in my room with my Joe Montana jersey in the background thinking, I'm going to own a Michael Jordan rookie. I'm going to own a Mike Trout rookie. I'm going to own Jason Dominguez. Like, I never even thought about that stuff. And thanks to the Twins for putting that card box on the edge to where it falls off their counter, and I have to pick them all up, because that got me into one of my favorite things, and that keeps me occupied, and just love it.
You know, it's a lot of fun. It's also equally challenging. But I think the thing I want to say is, if you are into the hobby a little bit, like, just be encouraged. There's so much opportunity out there. You just have to be smart about it, and you have to know what you're doing. And so it's one thing if you want to just buy a couple cards of your favorite player and hang on to them. If you're trying to kind of grow your collection and keep trading stuff, you just have to put in the time. You got to put in the work, and that can sometimes take away from the fun of it. So you have to have this balance of work and of fun. And I will say this before we go. So, Matthew, this is kind of a bittersweet day.
Yeah.
Because, as you guys know, we had the opportunity to purchase the Michael Jordan rookie combo. And this is the Star Jordan, and this is the Fleer Jordan. And we had a good friend who approached us about wanting to grade the cards. Then he decided he wanted to sell them. And so we purchased them and had them graded ourselves. We were contemplating selling them. We were contemplating keeping them. We were contemplating trading them. And we found a situation that's really going to work out with a gentleman who's going to be purchasing these. And I'm excited about that for him, and excited for us, because it's going to be a good situation for everybody involved. But at the same time, it's sad to see him go.
I mean,
I think
that was probably the coolest opportunity. And, like, I get it that if we keep doing cards, we're going to get more opportunities like that. But, like, I'm always going to remember you cutting the Star Jordan out of the pack right there.
Yep.
It's just,
like, we'll talk about this for probably the rest of our life.
Yeah.
And so stuff like that, you're creating memories, you're having a lot of fun in the process. We all have our goals and our reasons why we do things. And, Matthew wants to grow his collection. I think it's a great opportunity for him to learn. So I guess today's video is just about like, hey, work hard, but have fun, and
But
just
always stay on the grind. I feel like you gotta, if you want to, the funnest part of sports cards, and I feel like a lot of people could agree with this, is the going to shows, the buying, and the hard part is the selling, the listing, the organizing. But just to let you know, that leads to buying. The selling, the organizing, the listing leads to buying. Like if I like the Zion card, I pulled it, I just sold it. I can go buy a card with that. But even though you have to list on eBay, like the more you list, the more you sell. So
it's just
a lot.
There's a lot involved. So this is just us being real, kind of talking through what we're learning and journeys along the way. We are super blessed. I just have to say thanks to those who trust us with their consignment stuff.
Thank you so much.
Man, it's great. And by no means or anything we're doing complaining. We love what we get to do. And we're so grateful for those folks who reach out and have cards and they want to, see about the consignment piece. I just wanted to be very honest to show that like it takes a lot of work and there's a lot involved emotionally and relationally. But in the end of the day, like I'm pumped and I know Matthew's pumped and we're super excited. Like the other day I had a guy reach out on eBay and he's like, hey, you want to sell this card? And I said, well, that's not where we want to be or whatever. And he said, I follow you guys on Instagram and thanks for what you guys are doing. So that stuff to me is just the difference maker. That's the reason.
And like third graders at my school coming to me and say, hey, thank you so much. I went and bought a box at Walmart yesterday and I hit an Adley Rutschman Topps rookie. What do you think it's worth? And he brings it to me and gives me a Tua card because I tell him on the videos my favorite player's Tua. That is just like some of the coolest experiences. Or making bets with Liam about the Super Bowl. Like sometimes when you're not dealing with the Michael Jordan rookie cards and the patch autos of Hall of Famers or high-end first Bowman cards is sometimes the funnest times I've had in the hobby.
Yeah.
Like not dealing with the high-end stuff, not dealing with the high-end guys, talking to them about high-end cards. Sometimes just going easy with some of the lower-end cards are some of the funnest times I've had.
I guess all in all, just don't lose your heart for the hobby and don't lose the passion. Don't lose the work ethic. Keep it fun and keep it fresh. We're trying to do that and just be real about it along the way. So we're still trucking along, doing great, still super excited. If anybody has any questions or wants to connect with us, please do. And we'll kind of continue to keep you guys posted. If you're looking for any specific players or cards, always reach out. We've got great inventory here, both ours and our consignment friends. And just thanks to everybody in the hobby we've connected with. And we're just getting started. So continue to look forward to it. But thank you guys for taking the time to watch and listen. And we'll see you soon.
Peace.